If you are anything like me, you love houseplants, but they come to your house to die. It's true. So how do we enjoy the gift of green? Meet Christopher Griffin, one of New York's very own, known to Instagram as the PlantKween, a non-binary femme activist whose love for plants is rooted in visits to the nursery with his grandmother when he was just 5 years old. Now living with over 185 plants in his Brooklyn apartment, he's showing the world the importance not just of plants, but the importance of nurturing love, self-care, and acceptance too. Please welcome Christopher Griffin, aka the PlantKween. Good morning.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
I am so much better that you're joining us this morning, because who knew that plants could bring so much joy, but also bring the team together? Your plants are like Bernie's meme. It has brought this entire team together. So I just want to say, many of us, and by many of us I mean me, can't keep one plant alive. You have more than 185 plants. First of all, how big is that Brooklyn apartment, and how are you keeping those plants alive?
So the apartment's actually not that big. I've just gotten really, really creative with, spacing the plants out in very unique ways. And as you can see, I love going vertical. So I have a bunch of different plant shelves and all those good things. And honestly, I started this journey about 4 or 5 years ago with one plant. I now have over 200 plants. Since quarantine has hit, I have increased my plant fam. And honestly, it's just being patient and taking your time and learning how to care for them. And so patience, practice, and I'm telling you, you can do it.
You can do it, and it brings so much joy. And so if any quick glance at your Instagram page, we get to know not only you, but your plants. You name them. How do you name? Is it like Trixie, Max? Well, how are you coming up with these names?
So collectively, my green girls, I call them green girls. So collectively, they are my green girls, and they are the best quarantine roommates. And so I actually enjoy calling them by their Latin name because it reminds me of drag queen names.
For example.
So I love drag, and so I like practicing their Latin names.
So give us an example of one of your favorite. Like, who's over your left shoulder right now?
So so you probably can't see this queen right here. This is the Monstera deliciosa, variegated Monstera deliciosa. So I just call them, put a Miss in front of it. So Miss Monstera deliciosa, welcome to the stage. And so little, personification, to the whole lushness.
I love this, and I want to get to that plant because that is the plant of my dreams. So I need your help before I branch out. But in learning a little bit about you, I know that your love for plants is deeply rooted in something else, which is your relationship with your grandmother. And I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us very briefly about that relationship and how it helped you step into who you are now.
Yeah, so, my grandmother, at a very early age, I was blessed that she shared her joy and her light with me. And so I grew up in West Philadelphia, and she would take me on trips to nurseries with her. And there was just a joy, a light that shined from her, when she was in her garden, when she was in the nursery. And she shared that with me. And so she taught me, one, that nature is something that's precious, and something that is to be respected, and that, we can be the authors of our own joy. And so I thought of my grandmother, when I first bought my first plant, and our trip to the nursery. So, she was the neighborhood original plant queen, and where she had her garden in her home. And so a lot of what I do, sharing of that knowledge, sharing of that joy is what my grandmother did for me. And so, I'm hoping that, I can live up to her legacy and do the same thing.
You are absolutely,
she's a true inspiration.
You are absolutely living up to her legacy, and I haven't even met her. But do you mind if we show you some of our plants, and maybe you can help us out?
Please.
We'll start off with, we'll go through mine. I said plants come to my house to die. I just want to say something, okay? Everybody just settle down. This plant has died, it's come back, it's died, it's clearly on death's door. PlantKween, What do I do? And OG, fix your face. Stop looking at me like that.
So,
I've rendered you speechless.
not at all. So I have sent, tons of plants to that little botanical garden in the sky as a part of the process of being a plant parent. All right. It's a part of being a plant parent. All right. And so, the fact that that plant keeps coming back, I think speaks to the resiliency of plants. Right.
Okay.
So make sure that there's a lot of metaphors in which we can look at plants and how they relate to our own bodies.
Great.
But it looks like, the thing that I would really, really recommend is that you get your hands dirty and you check out the roots of that plant.
Okay.
And so the roots
take
really,
it,
really
take it
tell
out
you a lot.
and get my fingers in it. I do want to say though,
Yes.
can I show you this next one? Because I've had that plant
course.
for like 6 years. It's gotten a little bit better.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, this is so good. Okay, so you have the Christmas
Cactus.
Christmas cactus.
Yes.
And she bloomed, and she's looking actually quite wonderful.
That's because my mother gave her to me. Because I wouldn't be able to do that.
And plants have memories and
Do they really?
emotions attached to them. Well, we associate memories. So like you associate that. I'm assuming that you associate that plant with your grandmother.
No, with my mom. Every time I see her.
Oh, your mom.
Yeah,
Your mom.
she does all the heavy lifting. But enough of my plants. My team has got some serious questions with their plants. Everyone, PlantKween,
Hello,
PlantKween,
Christopher.
everyone.
Yes.
Hi.
Who should we start with first?
Ben.
I think
Ben,
I begin.
starting with
Ben,
All right.
give us your
I
question.
have a giant banana plant named Bananarama in my house. I think it's a banana plant right there.
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
Ben.
Thank you very much. Yes, but they're like,
Gorgeous.
listen, you have this plant, don't overwater it. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? How many times am I supposed to water this plant? Because it looks like it's really dry, but I just watered it like the day before, and I don't know how many times you water a plant to not overwater it.
Yeah, so that's pretty easy. So I would recommend, now it seems like she's in a large planter. And so what you may want to get yourself is a moisture meter. And a moisture meter is just like a little instrument that you can stick into the soil and it tells you when the soil is wet or dry.
Okay.
For smaller plants, all you need to do is just stick your finger in 2 inches into the soil. If the soil is very dry, she probably needs a drink. If it's damp, she doesn't need a drink. She's good for now. So I always just encourage folks to check the soil moisture before you water your plant.
So do I ask permission before I stick my finger in, or do I just go for it? It's alive.
It's alive. Give it up for Miss Bananarama.
Yeah,
That's
Bananarama,
beautiful.
everybody.
She's a beauty.
Lovely. Thank you.
Janika, my muchacha.
Hi, PlantKween. Okay, so I don't have a plant yet, but I have a location for
'Cause
it.
you eat them all.
And our Pix 11 plant king, Scotty, who does our audio, has like a garden, so I go to him for advice. I was like, since I have the PlantKween, I might as well ask you. So here's my spot by the window that I wanna get an aloe plant because I use aloe vera a lot for like my facial and my hair stuff. So is that a good spot for the aloe plant? And is it like low maintenance? Because I don't want to be killing things and stuff.
Yes, I mean, I would sit on that window.
I was just gonna say,
No.
OG.
I can?
That window, my goodness. Yes, so aloe vera plants really, really enjoy bright light. And so I would, just before you invest in that aloe vera plant, just get your compass app on your phone, figure out the direction of your windows, and that tells you the amount of sunlight that comes into your space. And if you have south facing or west facing or east facing, then that plant is going to do just fine in that window.
All right, so what size though? I want big ones, but do I do the little ones?
Oh, wow.
First?
I think it's totally up to you. I tend to start small first to give it like a test try. And then once I know that plant can actually thrive and survive in that space, then I invest in a larger.
I'll start small, Your Highness.
Nice window.
And Betty, you've got beautiful plants too.
Well, here's the deal. I've had this plant for about 15 years when I used to live in Atlanta. It was beautiful. It grew wonderfully. I moved to New York. It still stayed well. And then I let a friend babysit it, and it died pretty much. So when I got it back, tried to put it back to life. And so this thing has died a couple of times on me. It's on its way back, but you see at the tip there, the tips of the leaves are burning. I don't know what that means.
Yes. So, when the tips are drying up, that typically means that the plant is craving humidity. And so a lot of the house plants that we bring into our space are a tropical plant. And the average humidity, especially in a place like New
winter.
York where,
Yeah.
the winter, that dry air,
Right.
the humidity drops significantly. So I have my humidifier blasting. It's
Okay.
great for my body, it's great for my lungs, and it's also great for your plants. So invest in humidifier, and she is going to be just fine.
Can you just spray water on it as well? Will that kind of work as a humidifier or no?
So, spritzing a plant is more like I would say a Band-Aid to the situation. And so I really encourage folks, the thing that you want to do is, make sure the air around the plant is humid. And so when you're spraying on the plant, sometimes that increases the chances that fungus and bacteria
we don't want
can
that.
latch onto the water and then latch onto the leaf. And so I tend to, encourage folks, if you really want that plant to enjoy the lushness, you got to get a humidifier.
Okay, I'm on it.
Just start breathing on it.
Just start yelling at your plants. Christopher Griffin, thank you so much. You have been such a joy.
Queen.
I hope
Thank
that
you.
someday I can come see those 200 plants. And I will keep you posted on that botanical garden in the sky and my dead plants.
She might kill you.
You are more
PlantKween.
than welcome. You are more than welcome. I'll make sure I give you some clippings on the way out.
Thank you. Follow Christopher Griffin, the Plant Queen, on Instagram.